Everybody,
Hello.
welcome to Inside Craft Show. It's Drew
Part
and Jeff.
2, I guess, really, from yesterday.
It's the sequel, part 2.
Yeah. We're back inside Craft Show instead of outside Craft Show.
Yeah, we got lights everywhere.
We do. We have a lot more lights.
Toying with some lights.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's bright.
It is probably, it's a little keyish. We look a little flat.
We do look a little flat.
It looks a little flat,
It does.
but whatever.
Yeah. It's one of our special, our customized settings.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah, I did.
Well, maybe you failed.
I probably did fail.
You want to change it?
Do you
It's
want
not
me to
too
change
late.
it?
Lighting looks great. No, leave it.
Fine.
You said light bright. There it is.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to pop up the comment. No, I'm not going to pop the comments yet. First, we're going to sit here and say welcome to the live show again for the second time in a couple of days. We're a little discombobulated because we've been traveling and doing things and shooting things and been all over the place.
Been out at night. Later than we usually are.
Yeah, I had some late nights. Interviewed some cool people. We told a story yesterday. I'm sure I'll retell it again today. Maybe you can hear the story this time with the wind not blowing. If it does, though, we know to use Jeff's beard as a dead cat.
We apologize for
Yeah, it was a little chaotic. So we're both drinking our favorite beverages. Today I have a Topo Chico, and Jeff has...
I have a beer. A Haint Blue, which is a company that we've worked with before. IPA.
Yeah, Haint Blue IPA. It's very delicious. Available somewhere, right? We don't know where it's all available. How's the audio today? Is it good? We got a new mic system going. We want to see. Still refuse to do lavs because not for us.
Definitely not for me.
No. We could probably
unless we clipped it.
We could put yours in your beard.
We'd have to clip it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beard would be fine.
So anyway, we got our friends here. Obviously, the Baby Seal Troll Force button is in play, and everything is good to go. So let's talk about today what we're going to talk about today.
All right.
On this episode, we're going to talk about a little profile test we did while we were waiting for some jobs we had. So we had a little profile. We had a little downtime.
Yeah.
So we decided to, yesterday.
We teased it.
We decided to sit there and shoot every single color profile. And as we were doing it, we were watching the waveform monitor jump all over the place. And it kind of occurred to us that maybe we should consider profiles almost like film stocks. So for those who have never shot film or dealt with it or understand it or care to know about it, you're going to hear it anyway. It used to be back in the day that film stocks, you would pick a DP would select a very specific stock.
Yeah. For different situations.
For different situations, and also for different stylistic approaches.
Yeah, different moods.
Yeah, different moods.
Yeah.
I mean, Fuji had a certain look. Ilford, obviously, his black and white had a certain look over like Kodachrome.
Different noise patterns.
Noise and grain patterns, yeah.
Grain
so
patterns.
it was all kind of selected. So we sat and shot through every single one of those. And then Jeff got scopes on it, so we can kind of show you the differences. It's kind of fun to watch the scope cycle through. And you could, of course, if you're a GH5 owner, that's what we're referring to in this particular case. Red doesn't really care. But in this case, it's kind of fun to consider maybe thinking about shoots with those profiles, and that's something we want to talk about. We're also going to talk about the top 3 pieces of essential gear that we feel like a filmmaker should have, whether you're a documentarian, a narrative guy or gal, or just a general hobbyist, somebody just or advertising. I think these 3 pieces of gear can help you A, tell your story, B, get the shots and content you need, and also, more importantly, hopefully help you make money.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All fair?
Yeah. I think that's pretty fair.
We may get interrupted today by Laura Nolan. We will drag her into the room and make her talk on camera.
Yeah, we'll try to.
Uncomfortably.
Yeah, she will be uncomfortable.
Not her jam. But it's always fun. I like to watch people squirm. It's kind of a hobby. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, you used to.
I heard a snark from the other room, which means that is essentially true.
We have a live studio audience again.
Yep. No clapping.
Yeah, we're not going to ask for the clap today.
That worked poorly last time.
That worked really bad.
The other thing I was going to talk about is I have a cool story about the Hive light, and I will talk about that. We actually had a pretty big malfunction with it. It completely went down. I'll show you what it looks like, what I sent to Hive to kind of show it to them. And then yesterday we also teased this armored car idea, and we wanted to talk about that a little bit in more detail and kind of go through it. So before we jump into our first segment, let's go to the chat box of power.
There's a lot of hellos.
Oh, I broke it already.
For
some reason, it just suddenly stopped working. Talk to Jeff. Jeff will talk to you while I fix this.
This is the way it always happens.
Yeah,
Drew
totally
likes
true.
to break things.
That's totally true. Hit up the chat room and talk to him that
Jameson
way,
Gibson, I'm sorry you have to leave, buddy, but I'm glad you showed up for a couple seconds. Yeah, everybody's just basically saying hello today. That's awesome. Is everybody doing okay today? I need to find a record trigger to mount on a handle. For GH5, I have not seen a remote record trigger.
I know what I did.
That'd be kind of cool, though. I know that some other companies have it, and wireless follow focus systems do it. Sweet. People are busy, but they're still tuning in. Thank you for still tuning in. Aloha from Norway. Espen. Thank you, buddy.
Espen's been here every day. Thank you, Espen.
Sully. Am I a member of the Dollar Beard Club? Is that really a thing? Because if not, I will invent it. Because
What would be the dollar? Your beard's worth $1?
No, probably. I would send people razors that have no razors in them. That's what I would do.
Oh my God, that's genius. I think that is brilliant. The Dollar Shave Club, the Dollar Beard Club is
Kinda
an
think we
empty
need to
box.
do that.
You get shipped an empty box. Someone needs to make that. We're about to make that commercial happen.
I think we should.
This group should make that commercial. That is absolutely brilliant, sir. Brilliant, I say. Guess what I got working? Here's the chat.
Good. I'm talking to the girl that wants to be
Laura,
not
Nolan,
on
hey, doesn't want to
camera.
be on camera. Chat-a-box power, it's up, it's working. I fixed things. It's a little delayed on my side, so I have to read back over Jeff's shoulder. Have you ever shot the moon? Or literally video of the moon? I was thinking about the Despicable Me. The moon! Because of my kids. I have not. Jeff may have shot the moon.
I have in stills, but never with video, actually.
I did shoot the multiple moons one time on a film set.
I've done that.
It was awkward.
Quite a few times. Yeah,
Closed
it's
set.
very awkward.
The multiple moons. Yeah.
Is that the very last one you're talking about? Because that was definitely an awkward one. I wasn't even in the room.
Yeah, it was awkward for all days around. Close set style. Was not top 10 favoriteest things ever. So if you've seen the new Baby Seal Troll Force logo,
N-O.
it is awesome. We're very happy. James Dean Company created that for us. James Dean, I don't know if you're here, but you might be. If not,
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
James is a very talented graphic designer. Bang that logo out. We're going to work on getting some stickers,
Yep.
T-shirts, other merchandise. Maybe even like the old Bob Dobbs Church of what was it called? I can't remember now. But anyway, it was a thing when I was a kid. It was a punk thing. But just get some of those stickers made up so we can get those distributed out. I think they're both a badge of courage and a nice little slap to put on someone's back when they don't know it, especially if they're on set being terrible. I think that's hilarious, though we'll probably get a lot of hate mail from the branding. I'm still disturbed right now by this phone call I just received from someone who said I called them but wouldn't tell me who they were calling, and they hung up on me. And it's kind of weird because I'm bothered. I want to know who it is really bad now, and like my brain is kind of wrapped up in it. So I apologize for being distracted.
Yeah,
in the
that
moment.
works.
So,
So we have some of them here. We're having.
Is the live stream working? Is it showing up correctly? The chat, is the chat showing up correctly? It doesn't seem to be
is for
showing
me.
up.
Where are you
No,
at?
on the actual video.
An actual video?
No, it's just frozen on a single image. Like I don't know what
it is. I don't know what you did
going
there.
on. Why is everything breaking all of a sudden?
Because you were working on it.
Probably.
Uh,
Weird. Like it really is
See.
just not gonna do it.
I'm gonna go back up here. David Seeger's asking advice on C-stand
There it
for
goes.
boom mic. We have Matthew's C-stands. Is ours, but we also use, it matters on what situation we're in, we actually used a combo stand yesterday for it because the wind was so bad. We had a combo stand and some sandbags on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Do you guys know why GH5 doesn't do LUT on the anamorphic? I do not.
Actually, we never even tested that.
Annoying is no Atmos update yet. The hard part that I've seen a lot of people question that I figure we should probably say is actually,
That's awesome.
can I say it?
What?
Yeah, we're not under NDA for the 6K part anymore.
I don't think so.
All right, cool. The camera itself will not output HDMI 6K.
Oh yeah, they all know that now.
Yeah.
That's been
well.
public.
There's a lot of people that still are not positive about it. The Atmos itself is the update for the Atmos 6K is not going to do anything because the GH5 is the problem, not the Atmos.
Is there an Atmos update for 6K?
I don't know if there is.
What we were talking about for the Atmos update the other day was we're waiting for it to be able to take HLG in since it has an HLG functionality built in. But as we've been discussing, and we'll get to that today.
Yeah, we will.
That's one of the things we want to talk about is what I think even Will Stone, I don't know if you guys know Will, but Will was dealing with it too, is we've kind of come to the terms that we believe it is actually some kind of weird transfer LUT that's occurring inside, or a transform LUT rather, inside of the Atmos. I don't know. I haven't been able to confirm that yet. I don't know how it's working. In theory, the HDMI coming out of the camera needs to be version B, I believe. MPEG, you might have pointed that out. Somebody else did too. It needs to be version B that's coming out. And then it does require the Atmos. I was looking for it on the red back here. It does require the Atmos to have that same version B to receive HLG metadata. So if it's not hardwired in and baked in, it's something else. So super technical talk on the front of the show, but yeah, that's what we think's going on. Not confirmed. That's just estimates on our side of the world. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy scenario to kind of see how it works out. Hopefully it does. It'd be pretty cool to be able to record HLG, though I think a lot of people still look at it as some weird dynamic range thing, and that's something that we're going to show and talk about here when we go into this next little bit. I'm going to bring these comments down for the moment.
Yeah.
There we go. And so we are going to jump into this footage that we shot. So they're about 15 seconds each. I'll even post it. If you guys want it, I'll post a download link for it in the show notes when we're done, so you can actually pull down the footage. I'll take the histogram and waveform off of it and just post the footage for you guys. You've seen tons of it, but you could see the imagery kind of in its raw form and look at it, pixel peep it if you want, and I can probably put it up. You know what? I might even be able to put it up. What'd you output it as? Sorry.
UHDs?
Yeah, but are they 422s?
Yeah, they're 422 HQs.
Yeah, so I can give you a 422 HQ and let you guys take a look at it in its raw form to kind of see where we went with it. So jumping into it, let's kind of take a look. So this is the idea of taking scene profiles and using those profiles almost like film stocks, knowing that each one's going to have very different looks to it. Not just don't just think of it in terms of the color, but think of it in terms of how it exposes the image. So how the test worked out, I'll give you the parameters, not even a test, how we did this or what we did here is I had log running. Oh, that was the other thing I want to show is that clip. I'll do it later. I want to show that daylight clip, but you can use it in the log video. Sorry, side note.
Yeah.
But what we did was we were shooting interviews, and so we had it in log. So all we did was just shoot this first piece in log. So it is at 400. So what we tried to do is go to the base ISO on the camera. If the scene profile dictated that it had a different base IO, like HLG and Vlog, we changed those. So internally, or rather, we then had an ND filter on to try and calibrate them. I tried to get them to expose almost the same. And so you can see the switches. But what's really interesting is you set the exposure, so you set a correct exposure, and then you can watch how these different scene profiles are interpreting that same image. So we're going to start with something like log in its raw form to give it to you, and then it goes through accordingly. So I'm going to trigger it off. We can look at it. The waveform again is in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see here in a second, and I will put the footage up if you guys want it so you can download them and actually take a look. We've already started our discussion on how we will consider these as film stocks. I think there needs to be some custom settings that this community, not me and Jeff, everyone here should work out. I also think there might even be some LUTs that Jeff could generate, or maybe even the community too. I'm not taking away, but we could generate some LUTs to go with it. And we could all have make up our own film stock company and make a joke about it, but literally have certain stocks and LUTs that correspond with very specific settings. It's something we've wanted to do with the scene profiles for a while, but now I'm really interested in the idea of adding or tweaking these as we go along. Are you done chatting? Because I was going to trigger this off.
Yeah, that's fine. I can finish this.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to need you to talk about it.
Yeah, there we go. No, we're good.
Oh! Guess what Drew didn't do? He didn't fix the audio. Hang on. Sorry, we've been busy. Now we're going to do it for reals. Now you can do it. See, now we have.
So yeah, this is your basic scopes in DaVinci, where 1023 is your white point, 0 is your black point. Basically, your
it's the equivalent
640
though
is 64.
Yeah, it's the equivalent though of 100 to 0.
100 to 0. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So there you can see the log graded. Jeff pushed it through, but notice how the scope's expanded inside of that. So that log is really punchy. It's very vibrant. Everything, there's a lot of data there. I think it's really pretty. Maybe a little saturated, but we did it on purpose to push that.
That's a pretty sad.
Watch how it jumps to standard. Look at the lighting change, the color change, but also pay attention to how the waveform changes, the parade changes, the histo changes. You can see a good bit of it. The vector scope's a little bit trickier unless you've been trained in it a good bit. But as they cycle through, you're getting different looks on the exact same footage each and every way. So vivid. There's a pop on vivid. It's not as much as standard was, but there was a pop there. You can see a little shift in the saturation.
Definitely is. The big part for me is the
natural is one of my favorites. It just kind of flattens out.
From about,
you can see the lift on it.
From
the
about
bottom end came up on natural.
35 to 0 IREs is what really is kind of the way that each profile handles blacks.
Yeah.
Is really big.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Watch the bottom end. Look at scenery. Look how scenery drops the low end. You can physically see. Now I'm not changing anything. I'm calibrating this beforehand.
And there's no color grade on any of this.
Yeah, this is all raw straight off the camera, with the exception of that first vlog.
Yeah.
Look at the bottom end, how it dropped out on scenery. Portrait, it elevates the mids, is what it looks like to me. I saw a bump in the mids, and the black levels on the bottom came up just a pinch.
Yeah, scenery is very low-end contrasty.
Portrait, same kind of vibe. Portrait's actually one of my favorite neutral-looking
I kind of liked it too.
I've seen some other users. Cine D is fascinating to me. Cine D's got a little bit of a log thing in the middle. There you saw I adjusted it there.
Its highlights
are a little log thing in the middle. But its highlights are still weird, and I wasn't totally sold on it. I don't like Cine V, which will be next on deck. Cine V looks odd to me. It looks flatter, and it feels like I lost. Though it's a broader range, if you look at it, it is a broader range on the scopes for sure.
Loses some contrast.
It does lose contrast in that. And if you're looking at it from scopes, like 709 is my least favorite. I think it looks crushed. I mean, that's ridiculous.
To me, it looks like most 709 LUTs that I see.
Yeah, yeah. Just it's there, but it's just not. It's not really adding a ton of value. And then the last one, but not least, is HLG, and you can see.
Still interesting, because on the scopes, it actually does kind of have a vlog-ish effect.
It does.
A little bit.
And it looks like you can elevate the highlights even more.
Yeah, you can elevate the highlights quite
That's what we've said. It's darker. It's lifting the bottom end and squishing the middle is what it looks like. It looks like it's squishing the mids, and then it loops back to our initial footage.
There you go.
So kind of starting over. So that's the idea here, is to kind of look at these different pieces as stock. And from us just doing that little bit of an experiment and kind of playing around with it, we kind of came up with a whole new series and a whole new approach to how we're going to jump into thinking about a shot. If we're using the GH5, typically we use log. By the way, we had a great, hold on. Let's cue this. Well, I'll do that in a second. But typically we use log. But for a while we were using standard to match to red color. But now that I've really spent the time to just look at these, and we had plenty of time yesterday to analyze them. Great, easy paycheck. It was delightful. Mm-hmm. I still am. I'm kind of now thinking that portrait might be my new jam to experiment with a little bit. I think it needs some custom settings, but I find portrait to be pretty awesome in that space.
I did. I actually found it to become an interesting stock, so to speak, to possibly use.
Yeah, I think it's a cool stock.
If you shift it, or if you...
Maybe we'll call it 5 stock.
There you go.
I got 5 on it.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, if you silk with a portrait, it kind of has a really nice look to it, I would think.
Yeah.
Cut out the highlights just slightly.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of fascinating. So we'll pop up the comments, see what's going on in comment land. Here we go. Let's see.
There's some people talking about peaking, Trevor, and people talking about trying peaking. I personally don't like the GH5's peaking. The peaking isn't narrow enough field-wise, so it'll say it's in focus, but it's still out of focus. I think it could use a lot of help. I don't know if they'll put it into it, though, and try and do that for another update, but...
Yeah. So I think a lot of it's gonna come down. Again, we're not telling you what profile to use. I think the biggest mistake that I've seen in GH5 user groups, I've seen it in like post-production user groups. Everyone's saying use this, use this, use this. Typically, they have an agenda to sell a product to back that up. In this case, we're not saying that. What we're saying is, how cool is it that there's so many different looks? involved in stocks in the GH5. So treating them like film stocks is kind of like saying you know what you're going to get starting out. That's to say, you may find more value in shooting log. That's great, but some people don't want to jump into log. Or let's say it's a fast job and you don't have a lot of post time. You can kind of start thinking about the look you want to get from these early on and save yourself some time or make yourself some more money in post by not spending as much time. It's just the idea of there is not a right or wrong answer. Portrait looks good. I think it looks fantastic. I liked scenery as well. I thought scenery was an interesting look for certain things. I don't necessarily use it. I did not like Cine V at all. There wasn't, to me, much out of it. I'd have to experiment with it more and see where that stock would work. And I'm not saying right now that all of these aren't flawed. I'm just simply saying that for us, what we found very interesting was the potential to look at these as film stocks and use them as a film stock side.
I totally agree.
I
think they're all flawed in their own separate different ways.
But that's also gives you the advantage.
It does.
What about from a post side, from a color side? I mean, when you see a piece, when we look, let's go back to them real quick. I'll leave the comments up. It'll probably block the box a little bit.
The biggest thing for me, color-wise, with this camera is make sure it's 10-bit and that you have all the information.
Yeah, this was all I, by the way. Yeah. All this stuff's all I. I should have said that too.
And honestly, out of all these, I would prefer...
On a Lexar card that worked. Just pointing it out.
I'd prefer the V-Log out of all the other ones on this one from a color standpoint.
Because you'd have enough control.
You have the most amount of room.
But let's say you didn't, so take V-Log away. And take HLG out of the equation because it's not meant for this, in my opinion. Not yet.
Yeah.
So what would you go with?
And looking at them, I would probably honestly say Portrait or Cine D.
Yeah.
Would be the two.
By the way, if you hear that sound, that it sounds like an airplane taking off, someone just took a crunch next door. That's the sound the toilet makes.
Or a 10-1.
They could have gone 10-1 or 10-2. Yeah. By the way, film tip, pro tip. If you need to go to the potty, you can always say 10-1. That's tinkle. And you can say 10-2 for poopy.
Well, Sean Corbett earlier was talking about your reference to putting stuff on the back of the shirt and noticed the whole C47 on
you know the game, huh? Sean's been around for a while, Sean. I expect that out of you.
Yeah. I got pretty tore up in that game one time.
Yeah. So let's talk about scene profiles. What do you guys think? What do you like? Do you like the idea of the film stock thing, kind of treating them through? I think if we sat down with color charts and really worked them, I wonder if we could manipulate the system around well enough to kind of make them happen. Portrait, interesting. I'll have to try it out. Sound says amateur media group, pinky up and everything. Ding. You better believe it. I'm a boss. Yeah. I'm from the South, man. That's how we learned to drink, is with the pinky up, like a champ. That's how we did it when we were kids. Wolf Crow, Trevor says, Wolf Crow is into portrait big time. He says you get the best skin tone reproduction.
Yeah.
I guess. I personally have seen what Jeff has done with log. I wish I could show these shots. In fact, I think it'll be on Thursday's show. If you have a chance, it will be. Can we do that on Thursday? It was daylight exterior log.
Yeah, no, we can do it.
You can do me. You can't show who we filmed.
Yeah, I can't show the other people.
There's no set. Yeah. So the client in this case wanted to the film that we were doing some EPK for. We got called in for a favor to do some EPK on. The film itself has a nautical theme, and so the background is what you guys saw, that shrimp boats and all that stuff. And so the issue was they called us in at 2:30. The sun happens to be setting through that frame at 2:30. So me and Jeff were forced to heavy backlight. We didn't have the necessary lighting tools because they didn't know where the sun was when they sent the photos, because the first photo they got, they were already at night. So when we got to do this, we had to contend with this idea that we're going to be backlit and potentially how are we going to expose the face. We have a bounce, but you don't want to hit the talent with hard light. And they've been on set all day. The last thing you want to do is make them feel more like they're on set. So you want to make it comfortable. So we had to do a soft light scenario. So we used a bounce, a very soft, subtle bounce on the bottom end, and actually let the sun bounce into it and lifted them up and shot at log, knowing that the background was going to be right at the 81 mark. It was really at 78 or 79. It was like 78, 79. And then the midtones, we got to exactly 42. I mean, it was like pretty, it might have been 43, but it was like right in the middle.
It was right there.
We checked it, and then we brought the bottom end up, obviously, at the same time to make sure, but there wasn't a lot of darkness that we were dealing with, and Jeff was able to get a very pretty exposure, even backlit. So that's thinking about log as a film stock. We couldn't have done that with any other stock. And frankly, it wasn't about the skin tone as much as it was being able to get the subject captured in general. So it's just a cool idea. I can't wait to you guys to see it on Thursday. It's a really cool sort of process he went through to make that one happen.
Yeah, we did it mostly for exposure than everything else.
Right. So it was the opposite. We had too much light. So we used log with too much light. Consider that when everyone's like trying to use a 0.95 lens to film in pitch black darkness and get mad that log has noise in it because they crushed the bottom end of it out.
MPEG just asked, well, I think you're behind. No, you're not. You're right.
I'm up over here.
Yeah, we did shoot that with the GH5 MPEG.
Yeah. Major feature film, BTS, GH5. So let me backtrack for 1 second. In the last week and a half, one of the actors, two of the actors are extremely well known. I'm not allowed to say which one. One of them, I will just say this because it won't get me in trouble. This individual is up for an Oscar nomination this year.
Yep, one of them is.
One of them is up for that. Yep. They've both been in huge movies. One of our characters from this show is they were in a movie with one of the characters from this show. I can say that.
Yeah,
that's not saying anything.
Yeah.
They were in a movie with one of the characters from this show. Pretty big deal, really exciting. So the GH5 filmed epic level. The GH5 filmed an 38-year ASC director, right? And he commented on the screen. He was happy. That's the story I told, and I'll tell it again real quick. We have a guy they're shooting this movie that we're shooting EPK on. They're shooting it on film. They're shooting on Panavision Anamorphic. They're shooting on film. It was happy and great to be around film cameras again and see loaders. To watch a first-time digital loader.
Yeah.
Assume.
Second
good
AC.
Kid. Second AC,
get
sorry.
Destroyed on a set.
Yeah, trying to load a magazine and do it wrong. Pull the mag wrong. It happens, but it's a new world and it's an old world colliding together to watch this. My wife is the costume designer in the film. She's never worked on film, so she didn't know exactly what to expect. So she had a slew of questions on why they do so many rehearsal takes, why they are very specific on the takes, why their shooting ratio. She was like, they only do like 2 or 3 takes.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they're shooting film.
Yeah.
And there's
you
a
gotta
whole
save feet.
Yeah, there's a whole slew of things that were completely different. Anyway, so this guy's talking about that. He mentions calling his friend Roger. He's talking about Roger Deakins. And it was nighttime. They had these 2 M18s, which are really big boy lights, like massive wattage. They had those lighting that boat area that you saw in those test shots, and then the primary set. So you had the background lit and then the primary set lit. And so they had those up, but when we got to interview him, it was launch, so they lowered the boom down. So there was no background lighting. And the only other powerful light we had was one of our cat lights, we call it the 1K.
Yeah.
So we had the 1K cat light. I literally lit an ASC, really well-known DP with a cat light and a couple of Kinos. The Kinos are fine, that's standard. But it was kind of comical to see me running down this dock carrying a really cheap consumer light that really wowed him at the end. He was like, man, that looks great. Background looks awesome. I mean, that's kind of the testament for that. But that was all done on GH5. So there's that. Pretty epic stuff there. We filmed a Cy Young award-winning, 2-time World Series winning baseball player on a GH5. It's now, that segment's now airing nationally on the MLB network. Boom, GH5 broadcast, proven right then and there. Interview of that. Then we interviewed I can't really say what beyond this, but this author is extremely well known. Very, like, she's written about in the New York Times, had a book drop, like, huge deal. Filmed her, did an interview on that with the GH5. So we've taken and embraced this camera. We could have brought the Red, but we took the GH5 because of the smaller footprint. It's not as big of a rig. For some of these people that might be intimidated by cameras, it's a simpler design to approach with it. And frankly, it works when we need it to. And it saves us time because I can send audio signal to it and we can record secondary audio and go that route.
Exactly, makes it really quick.
So I thought it was kind of fun to share with you guys that are GH5 people. This isn't always going to be GH5, but in this case, we're referring to it in that way.
We are using it a lot.
Yeah, we do use it a lot more than we thought.
It's just a smaller footprint, like you said.
Yeah.
Makes it much easier for us.
Yep. Crutch lens. Are they going to use your footage in the movie? It'll be BTS. It's all EPK, so it's to sell the movie.
Yeah.
In this particular instance. Are you guys shooting? Gabriel asked, are you guys shooting this episode with the GH5? So what profile are you on? We are actually live streaming this with the GH5.
Yeah, somebody just knocked.
Laura, come on in, Laura.
It is live.
Hi, we're live.
We are live.
Why don't you come sit down, Laura? You can't get paid unless you sit into the frame.
Oh, do I get paid if I sit in the frame?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a check for
No,
you.
you have to.
Oh, I have to actually sit.
I don't have an
I
Apple.
don't have a
Watch for
chair.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
I was totally looking
Yeah,
at
there's
this
Laura.
and thinking that was a
There you
live
go,
video.
look at the
There's
camera.
Laura. Yeah.
That one. That was so awkward.
That is so awkward. It's
I
awesome.
told them I was awkward on camera, okay, and they told me to come anyway, so don't judge me.
Exactly.
See? Now we got girls.
Yep.
We're awesome. We're 21st century. We're from the future.
Yep.
Good job, Drew. You have one female.
We have two. We have a live studio audience in that other room.
We do.
Do we really?
That's true
Yes.
stuff.
You haven't met her yet. It's my wife.
If you,
Oh!
Laura
Yeah,
was
she's
on.
here.
Laura was also our second AC in training, our DGA trainee. I mean,
Director's Guild training.
she's our DP.
All right.
Yeah, she's gonna be a DP one day. She was our trainee on Heirloom, which, by the way, we're about to get hit by Tropical Storm Nate, which I think is
We are?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
yeah, it just happened.
Oh, cool.
Welcome to the.
Yay.
I thought you were on Twitter.
I don't do that.
EPK is Electronic Press Kit. Yes, that is correct.
I can give you a check if you just want.
Everyone is saying
Yeah,
hi.
that's the only reason I'm here.
Espen
Everyone
says
wants to say hi to
hi.
you.
Espen stayed up late to say hi to you.
Whoa,
Whoa, the cute ratio of the show just shot up.
Yeah, she wins
There it is.
easily wins best hair on
Sean
set.
says hi. Craft Show,
Hi,
she
everybody.
definitely has.
Yeah, Scott R just told us we're fired from Craft Show.
Yeah, thank you, Scott R.
Yeah.
We're done. Why don't you host? Why
Oh,
don't you
Trevor
talk
says
about
I have nice hair. What am I supposed to talk about?
Your hair.
cameras? That you know everything now.
Cameras are used for filming things. Thank you. I'm a professional.
EPK is Electronic Press Kit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't sit in that chair.
What he said.
You can't.
I don't know what I'm talking about, guys.
So let's talk about this. Let's actually do this real quick while you're here. Let's do a serious. I'll Barbara Walters you an interview. Right? We have to. We have to.
I will
can't-
do this.
I can't. Oh no, he's got a high chair.
Got a high chair. I'll sit way
I
in
want
the back.
the
somewhere.
director chair.
Let's ask you this. So you had never worked on a movie before.
I have
actually
actually
not
worked
in,
on a
so-
movie before.
Oh, no.
No, you had though, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So on your first film, when you worked with a master, cinematographer, director,
Which film was that?
that would be called Heirloom.
Oh, there was a master on that film? I
Yes.
didn't get that.
His name was Jeremy
I was
Sanders.
insulting him, not you.
Wow.
I'm sorry. You make it easy.
You do understand I am the president of your department.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm so
Uh-huh.
cool. You're gonna hire me
I
again.
run it.
Come on.
Jeff does run the department. Now let's talk about this. When you monkeyed, were you had to monkey with his camera,
Mm-hmm.
this little bitty camera right here,
Mm-hmm.
versus that camera right there. Have you ever worked with one of those cameras?
I wasn't allowed to touch it, so.
She's allowed to touch here.
That sounds dirty.
But
This is
but-
the first one that I.
But you could touch the GH5.
Yes.
Do you think that's because it's a $2,000 camera, or do you think it's because Jeff and I are nice?
I think it's because you guys are awesome. Like, I teach y'all a lot, but seriously, really, really great people.
Did you
Amazing to
enjoy the
work for.
process of working on
I
the
did.
camera?
Absolutely.
Do you feel like you learned basic filmic principles?
Yes, definitely.
Could you go change the white balance right now on that camera?
Let's not ask
Let's
me to
do
do
it.
it right
Let's
now.
see what happens. It's fun. It's live. Let's see what happens.
No, I don't
Yeah,
want
let's
to.
come on. It's fine.
No.
Please just go try. I just need you to try. Look, I'm selling things at Panasonic here.
Hey,
No, Jeff
do
can't
it.
do it. Stop. No.
Look, I did it!
No, go do it. Just
Right
go try.
here.
Just go try.
Right here. I don't like being on camera.
Now you're off. I got you off camera. There's your paycheck.
I make it easy.
That's why we came.
See?
Let's
I'm
see how
not-
this goes.
I'm not going to do it, guys. I'm not doing
Yeah,
it.
please just try. Just change the white balance.
I
Yeah, just change the white balance. You can pick the little light bulb with the little sun. Do you know what those mean?
do. I hate you.
Wait over the sun.
Do you know what those
I'm so
mean?
pressured right now.
All right, if the stream goes dead, it was well worth it. Jeff, you're first AC.
I'm the one that
You're not
changes
supposed
it.
to do that,
She's
Brock.
not supposed to touch the camera.
Shut up. I'm moving things around. Everything's going to mess up.
It is going to mess up. Then we have to fix it.
Here it is. What happens? What'd you change it to?
No idea what I'm doing.
She just pushed the lock button on the top. I would like to point that out. The lock button on the gear. Look for a button that
I
says.
see the white balance button, Drew.
Look for the button that says Warner Brothers.
Mr. Penner is here.
Sean Penner.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, if you
He's
guys
digging
want to
this.
bomb another colorist, Sean Penner, right there,
Yeah.
bomb him.
It's another one.
He's a network level colorist. Bomb
very
that
good.
dude.
I just did it.
What'd you change it to?
Door.
Oh, there
Yeah,
it is!
we're blue.
Success! We're blue! I'm blue, Dava Diva. Do you remember that song? Were you even born when that song came
Wow,
out?
definitely was born during that song. How old do you
During that song?
During that song?
Your mom was playing that song in the birthing room? From which you came, Doctor Who fan?
I wish that had been true. I wish I was.
Can you change it back now to the light bulb? There it is. You got it. You did it.
Happy?
There we go.
She did it.
Make my life so hard.
You're welcome to hang out,
He
but we're
does.
going to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have to keep
Talk about your things.
You're welcome to hang out. There's a chair.
I am gonna hang out.
If you want to.
You
If you want to go in the other room, there's a girl named Sarah.
Yeah, you
Hi,
can play
Sarah.
Broforce.
Yeah,
I'm Laura.
that is my wife.
So again,
There we go.
You know how random the show is.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny, right? That was pretty cool to see that happen.
Yeah.
That's the second I see. How can you not,
We,
like I said with Sasquatch, giving the power to the people sign? It's cool. Thanks, Trev.
Yep.
I don't know what she changed it to, actually. I have no idea why it suddenly looks better. I think she probably took it off of that. Don't ask a girl her age. Yeah, we're not going into that.
I'm 26.
Okay, there you go, creepsters.
No.
For all you...
No!
That's what you should have done. Hit the baby seal troll
we have
force.
a button now.
Do you feel like you're a baby seal and a member of the troll force? You kind of are a baby seal troll force.
Okay, I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna say no.
Internet trolls.
I mean, I know what a troll is.
It's totally breaking down today.
Yeah.
Live studio
Baby
audience is
seal.
participating. We've gone to full chaos mode. We actually had an agenda. We had an agenda.
We did
We've
have
thrown
an
it. It's
agenda.
written on a whiteboard back here.
We do have
along with someone's number that needs to get wiped off of there because it's pretty important.
And you keep
What is
having
that
to
baby seal?
beep it
Yeah,
out.
I know what a baby seal is. You know what a baby seal
Is
is?
this like dirty? Is this internet culture? Like,
No, we
No.
don't. No,
It's like
this is
a
a
true
family
baby
show.
seal.
Stop trying
Oh,
to.
like an actual baby
You're taking it in
seal?
the bad direction. This is
Actual baby
family.
seal.
I apologize.
You're gonna offend
5-year-olds
Sasquatch.
on YouTube, because that's what happens on YouTube.
My kid watches YouTube. She watches toy reviews.
Well, tell her
She
not to watch
does.
this episode.
We're not ignoring you guys. We're just pulling you into the actual real
Yeah,
world of what
this
happens
is-
when we're on set.
Sean
Show you
wants
the
to see
whiteboard? All right, fine. Hold on.
Hi, everybody.
Oh crap! The boom mic's in the way. Hold on.
Is it?
Yes, hold on. I got it. I got it.
Professionals
What's wrong?
here.
I'm
You
just
I
got
got
it.
it. Jeff's covering the thing.
I'm covering the one thing that
See?
needs to be covered.
Agenda. Agenda.
And if
Done.
you can't read it, it's Drew's handwriting.
Yeah. Now, can you go sit back down so I can reset the frame?
Yeah.
This is gonna give those.
Oh yeah, see the
I'm gonna go
board.
full wide with it. Did you have it punched in a little bit?
I probably did.
Let's
I don't know.
put
No,
the-
you just punched it in. You punched it in when
No,
you
don't-
changed
don't
it
kill
over.
me here. All right. So see, we did have a whiteboard agenda.
Dang it, MPEG got the number right. 8675309.
Yeah, that is correct. That is the number for that chicken scratch. No, it was all there. Give her 10 years and she'll be so. Yeah, I know. I'm
What?
with you. I saw the same episode of Taco Bell last week. Sailing Rewind. Welcome back. Did I cut myself out of the shot? I did.
Did you? That's
Hey, Laura, can you,
that's actually
pan,
the best way to do it.
Pan,
I'm gonna expect a check for this pan.
pan right.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Laura just got a cam op thing. Does
For a
Sasquatch kill
YouTube
Batman?
show.
I don't see him. I'm a little worried. Well, Batman is on hiatus. He's preparing. What he last told us was that he has a new device he can't wait to show off. I think I would probably look for it on Thursday. If
was he gonna show
Battlefront
it to us
2's
on?
beta doesn't get in the way of me and Jeff
Yeah.
actually accomplishing any work
Work.
whatsoever. Battlefront 2. All right, so let's go into the next little bit here. I'm going to show you guys this little segment about the Hive light. So we're being lit now by a Hive light over here that I'm blocking my face off with, and then we have this Kino back here. It's not going to do anything if I block it off. And then we have a little grenade, which is a light panel's light, just kicking a little backlight on us.
Yep.
So this Hive light, you know, I showed that video. It's a really cool piece of tech. However, it started doing this. Filming for a few minutes, just had it on for a few minutes, just had it on in the background for a piece, and this is what we get now. So I'm going to adjust the dimmer here. We're now at 100. There it is without the lens in it. And that's kind of what we're at. I haven't touched anything, as you can see. Everything's pretty basic. So now I will attempt to turn it off and turn it back on. As you can see, We're back to full chutzpah. Got the full juice. I'll leave it on, see if I can catch it dimming again. Okay, sorry, we had to plug in the laptop. A little chaotic today because we got a real studio audience talking about real studio things. Let's bring the chat box back up. All right, so what ended up happening was that you guys can see that that light is garbage. It like wasn't working whatsoever. I was so bummed because I had just shown it off and bragged about it. So I emailed Wasp or rather Hive Lighting. I emailed Hive and they were like, "Oh my God, send it back immediately." They shipped it to me, they sent me their FedEx number. I still kept the packaging because I always do that, at least for a month. They shipped me the info, or sent me the info. I shipped it to them. They immediately evaluated it based on seeing that video. That's the clip I sent to them. They evaluated it and sent it back overnight, both sides, so that we would have the lamp back in. That level of customer service is insane, and we're not talking about a very expensive lamp. We're talking about $1,000 fixture. Like in our world, that's a Kino, right? Yeah. Like a small, cheap, little bitty Kino. It's not even the big boy stuff, and they still treated me, this vendor, or this customer rather, treated me with that much level of respect and really wanted to make sure that they took care of us on that side of it. So I was pretty jacked to see it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because I know I'd shown the Hive thing. So if you're on the fence about looking for a lamp and you need a lamp, now I'm gonna not just endorse them, I'm gonna sing their praises because for us, they bailed us out. I wish we would have had it for these BTS shoots. It would have come in real handy, but. It came in and we can use it here and it'll go back into our kit. It's part of our basic kit process. Hey Sarah, are you going out of the room?
Yes.
Are you going near a refrigerator?
Yeah.
I can be, yes.
Will you please bring...
2?
Yeah.
Beer time.
Yep.
Thank you. So anyway, so the light being able to bring it back around, it really bailed us out, and I'm pretty happy about it. So if you guys are on the fence or looking for a really great light, I actually wouldn't just stand behind it because it works. I would stand behind it because they
Their
took
service.
care. Yeah.
Yeah.
They cared about a little nobody guy, right? At least in the real world. In my mind, I'm the greatest emperor of all time. I am Smithers to everyone's Homer. How's that?
No,
That's excellent.
that's not excellent.
That's excellent. Real quick thing I wanted to do, just quick sidebar, real quick. This is a little segment I like to call Troll of the Week. I got trolled recently in one of the delightful Facebook groups by someone who asked the question, why would you ever shoot log inside? That has been this episode of Troll of the Week, brought to you by me and BabySealTrollForce.com. I did respond. I wasn't rude. I did respond. He also said that I wasted an opportunity with Panasonic. Yeah, and I'm going to call it out because it's absolutely the kind of stupidity that really bums me out to see that. There's a lot of great groups. My favorite is still Panasonic GH5 Creative Group because it's positive and I see a lot of great work and I get inspired. I've been inspired to steal ideas from that page. It's been fantastic. And then some of the other ones, I get a little frustrated because people, instead of trying to help one another, they turn it into a troll fest. And not in the charming way that Baby Seal Troll Force represents, but in the like truly a-hole way, like almost attacking somebody and not really approaching it. And so, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, that individual left that group, but it was really silly to even question. I had to laugh. I thought maybe he was Baby Seal troll forcing me, which would have been brilliant, but he wasn't. He kind of took it on a personal level, not directly personal, but I take any time you critique the crew and the people I've worked with, I do take that personally. And so I kind of felt like, you know, instead of him being smart, or her, whatever it was what, I don't care. Turning it that way.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to rant on that for 1 second.
Yeah. You always like to rant.
I do. We're gonna get to the HDR and HLG stuff later, a little bit later on. We're also going to talk about the armored car. I wanted to kind of go over. This would be an interesting thing to even throw to Laura, who's off camera at this point. I'll just make her yell or something.
But still here.
Let's talk about, and we'll poll you guys and gals as well. Let's talk about the top 3 pieces of gear, essential gear, that you believe you need as a filmmaker. What would you say are the top 3 pieces of essential gear to be a filmmaker? And we're assuming in this case, we're going to define filmmaker a specific way. We're going to define it as someone who will be potentially doing more than one job, meaning director DP or DP editor or just a camera operator or something in that space, what would you say are the top 3 pieces of gear that you need? We'll start with Laura, and we'll hit up the crowd. What do you think the top 3 pieces of gear you need as a filmmaker are?
We're talking about if you're fulfilling like all of the roles.
Yeah, no. If you
Like the
if I
three
just sit you out with this camera and you had a film, you were about to do a short film.
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah.
going to do a short film, what are the top 3 pieces of gear? 3. You get 3 pieces of gear.
Well,
You're the best. By
A
the way, this is
camera.
the greatest thing ever.
I know.
Like getting up to the point of a line, I'm like, I'm not crossing it.
Yep.
What would you say?
Number 1 would be a camera. 'cause
That doesn't
makes
count.
it-
You already have the camera, or you rent the camera. That's not aside from the camera.
Do I have nice lenses?
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be your number 1. You would say lenses.
I
You're going to
would
buy
say-
these. These are going to be something you own that you're going to use forever. So 1 set of lenses forever.
Yes. Then I
Okay,
would
so you would buy
say-
1 set of lenses.
Can I do sets of things? Can I do a nice set of lighting? Or does it have to be
No,
like a
it-
light?
Well, you could. Let's get specific and say a light.
Okay, 1 light bulb. That's very helpful.
What,
So
okay,
using
so
that
now you have a
for
light
lighting.
bulb and a set of lenses and a camera.
I said we're not using 1 light bulb.
We'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys say? What would you say it would be? A fluid head. Okay, here we go. Good lenses. All right,
Yeah.
we got that Batman
Good sound
figurine.
recording.
Well done, Scott R. I'm proud of you. Very well done. Color grade panel. Sean Pinner, of course.
Yep.
You know that.
I agree with Sean on that one too.
Yep.
Yeah, me and Sean are.
Sean Corbett
whole-
says a gimbal,
whole
a good
different
lens,
discussion
a sound
thing.
recorder, at least 1 really good light source. Trev, that's great.
That's very close to
Um,
what I have.
Okay, but
Yeah.
like 1 light bulb? Or...
Lens, mic, scopes, sound, lens, lights. Yeah, we're getting into the same space. Here's what I would actually say. I would.
Ours ended up being the same actually.
Yeah, we actually had 1 difference on the beginning though.
We
and
did
we'll
at
talk
the
about
very
that.
beginning, yeah.
All right, I would say the number 1 thing that any filmmaker should have, and we'll specifically jump into, like I said, if you're using the camera, you already have the
chat's
camera,
not
whatever
being
it
carried
is.
over to the video.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, it is. It should be now.
Yeah, it should be there.
Should be going, Sean. Hopefully it is.
Cowboy boots was the last thing said.
Yeah, last thing said on mine.
Yeah, it looks like it's working.
Yeah.
Should be
Very
up.
cool.
So I would actually, and me and Jeff both agreed, the number 1 thing we think all filmmakers should have and learn, especially if they're shooting as well, would be
Both of us.
a light meter. That'd be the number 1 thing. Because if you have a light meter, there's a whole lot more you can do with it. So let's say you go on a location scout and you walk into the room. You can actually evaluate what the room's lighting is. Let's say we didn't have these lamps and you had these 2 practicals. You could at least know what your sources were off these practicals. You could turn on the fluorescence, know what the light meter is before you even bring the camera in to know exactly what you may or may not have, how you're going to approach it, how you're going to do it. You can go outside. You can look at the variation on shade versus daylight without using the camera. You can do so much more by learning to use a light meter and carrying a light meter with you. You could even be a dork like me and have it on you almost all the time so that if you're like, man, this place looks unique, how am I getting that light? I will actually steal a little sample so I can remember how I could recreate that recreate it later. And so I think a light meter would be huge because it's going to also dictate everything you do in pre-production, production, and post. This, more so than even the camera. This is going to do it more so than that. That's our opinion.
It is.
And I know you guys all have great opinions, and hopefully that's
Yeah.
why we have the chat here, for everyone to go back and
It
forth.
is.
You may disagree. But if you're lighting just off of looking a little monitor on a camera, I think you're missing the greatest opportunity of all time to get
Yep.
better, to
I
grow,
agree.
to become a better filmmaker.
Now, Sully did bring up a point. It is technically an exposure meter that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Exposure light meter. It is not the color meter.
Nobody needs
color
to buy a
meter-
color meter until you get to ASC level.
Yeah, that's a.
And
it's
then you're a
expensive
cinematographer at that point.
Version of.
And that's
doing
the only person I'll ever call a cinematographer. You're not a cinematographer unless you've earned the ASC letters, BSC, whatever. The SC. I don't care what region, but you need to earn that. That is an earned title of respect. Number 2, you guys all said it, and I totally agree. I don't think you need a tripod with something like GH5 or the Red because you could hold it and shoot it.
You
A
could
mic,
hold.
a good mic with a cable, a little fuzzy gimmick. I do think a microphone would be crucial. So if you are a narrative filmmaker and your job is to capture a story, at least with one microphone, even if it's mounted to the camera, you can get the other 50% of your project. So if the first 50 is the image, because we're telling motion pictures, the other half of that is going to be your sound if you have dialogue or an interview or any other component. So that little microphone is the next piece. And I don't care if it's a Rode or whatever you got to do to make it work. I would argue that having at least a decent mic for your rig, just in general, you can bring this with you wherever you go. You literally could be like, hey, I really like using this mic. You have it with you. You can make it work on any front, and it benefits you. I would also recommend getting a dead cat of some sort.
My beard or a real cat. No, it's not going to sit there.
I was kind of hoping it'd be like Velcro. Now he's back. And so, does that work? I loved your new toupee. It is amazing. It's like Donald Trump's. It's not even noticeable.
Yeah.
Whoa! Don't spill the
Topo
Chico.
Chico.
So a mic would be the other one. And this is where me and Jeff got into a little bit of debate. What did you say first?
No, actually, we got a debate over the sound.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What was the... Yeah. I said sound, you said...
No, neither one of us said sound originally.
What did I say? A light?
You said light, I said tape.
Oh, yeah, Jeff wanted measuring tape because he's an AC.
Yeah.
Not gaff tape, literally.
Yep.
Whether digital or regular, he wanted
To
tape.
make sure focus.
Yeah, because he's thinking about
But
focus.
this one adds to it.
So the third one
For both of us is a monitor.
Is a monitor rig. And the reason why you want a monitor rig is not to evaluate the image, but to make sure you're capturing the image within the framing that you need.
Exposure also.
Yep.
Sound also.
Yep.
All of them.
And so our biggest thing is something like, this is a Shogun Flame.
Yeah.
You can see it's got our base plate because we've been using it as
as a internal monitor.
HDR monitoring rig. But I think the other smaller, cheaper monitors are fantastic, but this, I would actually argue, if you are only going to have 3 pieces of gear and you're going to show up on a set one day, if you're a DP, if you're a director, if you're a producer, if you're whatever, and you had this, you've suddenly got a leg up. So you can actually say, okay, this is my monitor, I'm going to plug it in. You can set it how you want. You can get the exposure how you want. You can look at all the data. You can record your own dailies to make sure you have the content. You can do a ton with it that I think is, you can record the sound directly to it. You can do a lot that I think is going to benefit you more than just having lenses and other stuff. Because at the end of the day, you may turn around and say, oh, well, we want to rent Summicrons, or we want to rent Master Primes, or we want to rent Canons, or CP2s, or whatever it is.
Like ours.
Like ours. Why buy them when you could just rent them and it's a much better deal, get the client to pay for it. So I'd actually argue for a monitor, and more specifically, I'd argue for an Atomos, Shogun, Ninja, one of those gimmicks, Sumo. Sumo's if you're a baller. If you walk on the set and that's like your personal monitor. But even as a director, this is what I use as my director's monitor when I'm not DPing. I like to take, or if Jeff is sleepy and needs to pull focus from it.
Look at that.
Baller. Yeah, those are the 3 items. I think that's kind of important because if you consider how they're going to work and benefit your story overall, I think there's a much bigger value in that than just the bare and essential pieces. Now, Laura, would you change what you would say now?
Say exactly what you said, Drew.
Inside Craft Show. She's going to get a little... You know what, Laura, just for that...
Yep.
There it is. That's for Laura.
What the heck in hell is Baby Seal Troll Force?
That's what we are. We're Baby Seals and we're Troll Force.
I'm so confused.
Baby Seals, people that whine and complain all the time, they look like baby seals. They're like, like that.
Like what?
Nah, I only do it once.
I didn't see it though.
Only once per
I
episode.
missed it.
Well, you have to watch the live repeat episode. What are you guys saying over here in the chat skis? Because I've been going on a rant for a while. I do need a mic. Haha, just drape Jeff's beard over the mic. That's correct. Monitor with scopes, a must-have. I agree. Absolutely external monitor for sharp 4K. I don't know which monitors. Yeah, you know what? It's interesting about the Atmos that I sold a client an upsell on that let me buy the monitor is that I told them I could give them dailies in real time, and which we did. So we were shooting on the red. So for us, in this case, we had the red set up, but we gave them dailies that night and charged them. I did a markup on it for it was roughly the price of the Atmos because all they wanted was ProRes 422s. And they didn't even want HQs. They just wanted LTs. So we were able to do that with that monitor, which gave me more money to buy the monitor in the first place. So I put on my credit card. I Best Buy'd it, as we say. Put on my credit card, turned around, had them essentially pay for it, and we got it. So again, The reason why I like the recorder monitor combos, they have all the scopes that I want. I can look through it. They even have HDR, which I think is fantastic. We're not paid or endorsed by Atomos whatsoever. But the reason I push for it to even say that is because you can then turn around and be like, oh, I can give you dailies. This particular client was an agency client. They wanted dailies. We gave them dailies. Suddenly, boom, bam, me and Jeff got a free monitor essentially off of one job. One job it was paid for. So everything from this point forward is literally gravy, right? Mm-hmm. Just delightful gravy.
It is.
The Pix, I don't know, you're talking about the Pix 240 and all that stuff. They're okay. I like them. I think they're a little pricey. I haven't priced it out in a while. I had one and I sold it. I don't remember exactly what it is. Let's see. I'm just reading over the comments.
Yeah,
One Shot Daily's
Smart
reference
Speed.
chart. Yeah, there you go. I do that for you, Sean. Sean is a broadcast colorist, so what and a film colorist, but he's referring to a lot of broadcast elements. I'm serious if you guys have questions, like Sean he grinds stuff so fast. Sean, real quickly, do you mind posting in the comments? Do you like dealing with log footage, or are you happy getting pre-graded footage, with some kind of weird LUT on it? Let's just see. Let's put Sean on the spot. Sean Penner's superhero.
I know my answer to that.
Lens, light, and computer. Phil Brown, great quote. I'll take it. That's a good one. I wouldn't
That's
argue.
a good one. Yeah.
I wish the tether from the GH5 went to that, or the red. There was some way to like feed it in. I think there is some gimmick out there, but it's expensive software.
Sean answers log. Same as me.
There you go. Colorists love log.
Yeah.
That's why we think it's important to teach log and deal with it.
Baked in.
All right. So
Baked
there
in.
we go on our top 3 pieces of gear. You can hate it, you can like it, you can love it, you can disagree. Post it in the comments after the fact, because I know we're live, but if you watch this in a replay, throw it in the comments what you think it should be. Prove us wrong. We like to be proven wrong. That's just our take on it. What we know has benefited us is those 3 items. They give us the ability to do that. And those are light meter, microphone,
And
Atmos. Monitor of some sort.
Monitor.
That's what we would go with. I would say an Atmos.
Yeah.
So we've been in more discussions about HDR and HLG again.
Always.
Yeah. So
It never ends.
Yeah.
Now that we brought up the Atomos,
Yeah.
it actually makes sense to bring this up.
yeah, go ahead.
Because everybody thinks that you can, I haven't been able to confirm the other side of it. Because we have the Flame. The Inferno, don't know.
I don't think so.
I know from what we have received or pulled down, it does not work. But trying to record HLG out of the GH5, even though told it was possible.
No.
It
was theoretically.
Theoretically possible.
Yeah.
So far, it looks like it does not work. The signal coming out is a Rec 709. It is not a 2020 HLG signal. Or
Well, no.
transfer
The
characteristic.
recorded signal on the Atomos
Yes.
is
a 709.
The
We are
signal
not
coming
positive.
into it, we don't know.
Yeah,
That's
we're
what
not
we don't have.
positive about
We don't have a way to
that.
read
Yeah.
that yet.
We do not have a way to read that.
So you might be able to view Rec 709. View HLG inside of the Atomos if you're using it. But currently, even using the Avid DNX HRQ ZPXY P90, when it records to it, is actually coming. It's recording it, and when you inspect it, we've confirmed it in DaVinci. We've confirmed it with in Visor. It actually records in Rec 709. So you're actually losing all of that great HLG data. So it's not really benefiting you. And then as far as we've seen, the bigger issue is people are taking a Rec 2020 color space, forcing it into Rec 709, and then grading it, and it ends up looking like Dookie Burger because it's not meant to go that way. There's no transform LUT happening to correct for it. It's just literally...
You're losing color info.
You're losing color info.
Yeah, and then they're rendering it out of Premiere and trying to put it on YouTube saying it's HLG.
Right. You
Which is
cannot
not.
render out of Premiere and get HLG at this time. Hopefully in the future, this is an outdated video. If you're watching this
hopefully
now
it is.
in the future, this is out of date. But if not, currently you cannot get HDR to trigger, or I'm sorry, HLG to trigger outside of Premiere. You can't get any HDR out of Premiere to trigger, but HLG, a flavor of HDR, does not trigger at all whatsoever.
The reason why I think it's also the signal, and we've talked about this before, is the signal is coming out of the deck link in computer as an HLG or as an HDR signal.
Right.
It's triggering the Atmos itself through the signal. So that's why I think GH5 is not sending a 2020 HLG signal out.
Right. We have confirmed that. We
Yeah.
have sent from DaVinci into the Atmos and seen it automatically trigger the HLG as if it read the metadata
Yeah.
tag. So we've seen that. So there is capability. It's just going to be a matter of will it work or not. So here's the honest truth. I love the GH5. Obviously, we use it. We just told you guys we do a ton with it. I think the HLG is a great feature. It's not quite to a professional filmmaker level yet. I think it one day could be, but in reality of it is use HLG if you want to film something and then post it directly to YouTube without editing, just throwing it straight up there. Right? I think it's great for that. I think it's awesome for that. You cannot edit it though. Even doing the DaVinci trick, I would actually argue if you're going to go through that much trouble just to learn to do PQ.
Yeah,
So
I would too.
then I would argue to shoot and log and then grade it and prep for PQ because then all of a sudden you have HDR10 and you can literally edit and control all of your facets in a very simple manner.
I agree. But HLG, to bring it back, is a professional, usable HDR. Because BBC uses it.
No, but in a broadcast.
But it is a traditional workflow. So it's something that the regular average person's not going to be able to do.
Can you talk about the white papers that you came
Yes, the Eurovision white papers came out. I will have to find it and post it to our channel. Maybe I can post it with tomorrow's thing, the actual thing, because it goes through the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4 HDR monitors. Grade 1 is the highest one that is for quality control, coloring, broadcast, theatrical, stuff like that. And their white papers are saying that PQ and HLG, neither one of them are completely shown on a television yet. PQ shows more than HLG does. It goes into some very technical stuff. Some of our people here would love to read it, I know. I'm thinking about MPEG right now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I know MPEG will be very fascinated with it. But yeah, I mean, overall, it basically says that there's not a true 100% monitoring system yet for all of this stuff.
Right.
That's a good basic.
Yeah, like even industry standard. That's not talking about low level guys. That's on the highest end of that. There's still not an industry standard for any of that stuff. Yeah, we know MPEG.
I know.
I guarantee that you
will
would
love
want to read
this.
it. Yeah, it's super engineering driven. If I don't know who you are, but I think I know who you are, and I think we're pals. We've talked before. It's super engineering driven.
Yeah.
Can
you do HLG and PQ from log? Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. MPEG was saying that.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally right.
We can.
That's why the idea to shoot log all the time gives you the most flexibility. So let's talk about the workflow, because a lot of people have been frustrated with the 6K workflow in dealing with that, and that's something we know very well. The 6K workflow for us is treating it almost old school film style.
Yeah.
Like early HD type stuff, where I cut off of 1080p proxies.
It's the true traditional on-on, off-on.
It is, and Sean Penner, if he's still here, is in that space.
Yeah,
we worked off of offline and online files. So I edited the offline version. That means my job is the same way the Avid works when you're doing film or a motion picture. Even with Red, we've done this.
The only difference is the deliver aspect for what we're doing.
That's correct.
Because for HDR, you have to complete, or you have to finish your project in DaVinci Resolve.
But even 6K, you need to finish in DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, you really do.
Because it doesn't play very well. Yeah. Even like full transcodes of 6K anamorphic does not play very well in Premiere.
It does
so
not.
I would say...
Well, HVAC or HEVC is not going to play at all.
Right. But no, they know that. That's been established.
Exactly.
I'm talking about even people are having problems with the transcode. So my pitch to you would be to attempt to do a round trip.
1080s.
So first off, you make two flavors of this. The first thing you do is make a 1080p transcode using Edit Ready. Then make a full res transcode using Edit Ready. When you're ready to cut your project, use the 1080p files to cut your project. Completely cut your project with that, because the sound files won't matter, right? If the sound's married to it, then just unlink the sound from it. It won't matter. So you edit your entire project in 1080p, get it where you're happy. Let's say you're going to finish in Premiere. That's fine. When you're done with your edit, duplicate your timeline, right-click all of your footage, make it offline, do not delete from hard disk or whatever. The device, I can't remember what it says. Do not delete. Then reconnect it. When you do, manually reconnect it, called a conform, or a force conform is what we call it. You're going to conform it to the high-res, full-res versions of the transcode, and guess what happens? You have a now exportable source that you are able to manage. It's very simple. That's 3 clicks. Edit at the 1080, and then 3 clicks later, you can export your 6K file directly out of Premiere, easily. If I were doing the grade on our level of doing it, the same thing happens. I edit 1080p, I finish the project, I export an XML from that project. Jeff has the raw files, though we don't like using the raw files in HVAC, but Jeff has the raw files. He can get directly to the raw files and use those accordingly, very simply and easy. If that makes sense, that's where we are. That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
That's kind of our thing.
We're,
what beer are you guys drinking? Or what type? Right now we're drinking Haint Blue IPA, which is a local beer made by a vet. Like straight up, got out of the military, Special Forces. He was part of the Night Stalkers. Yep. Dude gets out, decides to brew beer. I'm going to drink the hell out of it. Can I get a hell yeah? There's Stone Cold. No, that's Goldberg. But he kind of looks like Stone Cold. Pretty much anyone who's bald looks like Stone Cold. Yeah. You look like Stone Cold with a beard.
No, I don't.
You look like Stone Cold meets Bray Wyatt. Because of the beard.
I need to grow my beard longer again. Yeah, I've lost sight here.
I disagree, Yuval. I don't like the Premiere proxy process, but I get it. It does work. You're not wrong. I just don't like the process of doing it. I found it to be slower and clunkier than just doing the quick transcodes personally. You've probably done a lot more time and spent a lot more time with it, but for me, it didn't work as fluidly as I wanted it to. It's much easier for me to just... Now, keep in mind, I've done that workflow since I was 18 years old. I am 40, so I've been doing the same workflow for a very long time. So for me, I'm just used to it. So yes, maybe use the proxy workflow that Yuval has described there. I hope I said your name right. Sorry, brother, if I didn't. But yes, there is the Premiere Pro version of that.
There we go.
But for us, we just do the edit ready thing because it transcodes way faster, way more efficiently, and it's what we prefer. That's just a preference thing. My point being, use a proxy workflow and you can kind of make it work. You don't need to cut the raw negative. That doesn't make sense. Cut the story first, get it where it needs to be, and then output the raw negative. Cutting the raw negative doesn't benefit you. It does mean that you have to learn to edit and be thoughtful and be creative. But if you guys are also, and gals, are also the shooters, then the upside for you is that if you filmed it, you probably know what the shot looked like and you use your mind to remember. If you're just being an editor or you're just the offline online colorist or whatever, that's a whole separate beast altogether. Sully Cortez asks, at CRFTSHO, is it better to transcode a ProRes HQ or ProRes regular? What's the bitrate match for 6K anamorphic? If I were you, for my proxies, I would do ProRes flat, just regular ProRes. And if I were doing my master files, we actually use ProRes 444 for our masters. And Jeff will tell you why.
It's for the chroma subsampling. ProRes 422, sample-wise, you have technically a degeneration of one copy to the next copy. In a 444, you're doing an exact chroma sample subsampling from the shot to the next shot, or from the one file to the next file. 422 will not do a full subsample, and so your picture quality actually degenerates.
But I mean, let's talk about who's going to notice the degeneration.
Yeah, it's a very
pixel
small
peeper will notice the degeneration.
Yes, it's a very small one.
So if you need to finish, if you're finishing for the internet, just finish in ProRes 422. Yeah. Seriously, HQ.
Yeah.
But if you're finishing for anything bigger, 444. Oh man, somebody brought up the Netflix thing again. Do I need to rant on that again, or is everybody clear on the Netflix issue?
I can't see it. I keep losing signal over here.
The Wi-Fi's dropping?
Yeah, we keep losing it.
Oh. Is everybody clear on the Netflix thing? Do I need to bring it up again? Is everybody clear on that? Anyone?
I'm not clear on the Netflix thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Thanks, Jeff. 444 it is. There you go. Good info. Thanks. You're welcome, Espen. Again, Yuval is not wrong either. If you guys want to experiment with the proxy workflow, test that out. I'm going to talk about the Netflix thing real quickly. There's that file that went around that everybody was like obsessed. This thing came out that said that if you didn't deliver or shoot on a camera that shot these very
4K
specific
or higher,
very specific resolutions and all this stuff that you couldn't get onto Netflix, and the internet took that to mean that anything they shot could not, a GH5 could not get on the Netflix. It had to be something big. But what people were missing was that's the requirements for a Netflix original program. So the reason they do that is because they deliver an HDR and they do all these other bigger things. Because there are tons of movies currently on Netflix shot on cameras that actually deliver at 1080p.
Yeah.
Like
or
the
shot
Arri
on the
Alexa.
exact same cameras that are used for that Netflix thing that are delivered at 1080p.
Yeah.
Shot
So
at 1080p.
but it caused a big issue, like
Yeah.
people saying that GH5s or other cameras were not even worth it because of that issue. I was explaining to Laura. Hopefully you guys got it. Laura in
Yeah.
the studio audience didn't need to know that.
Yeah, the Netflix thing is a very specific thing.
Right.
If you're making your own thing and trying to get it on Netflix, you absolutely do not have to follow those guidelines.
No. Look, let me tell you, the first goal of getting on Netflix is to get to Netflix, and you're not going to get there by calling them up, or they're going to have to see your film at a festival, which means they're not going to care what you shot it on. They're also going to then turn around and have to see your film from a sales agent, which means you've made a good enough looking film to get in front of a sales agent, which can be anything, because iPhone films have been put up there. Or third, you're going to have to figure out a way of infiltrating their network and literally hijacking and uploading your own film to it. That's the only way you're going to get onto Netflix in that capacity. They have very strict gatekeepers. It's not an easy process. You've got to go through a middle person in order to obtain Netflix relationships. And I'm going off of not just firsthand knowledge, because we have a film on Netflix that was shot on a Red, delivered in 2K, right? But delivered to Netflix in 1080. So I know from firsthand that it can be done. We had to go through a sales agent to do it. We're up to do a second film that way, and that's where it lies. However, I just worked with the producer. If you watched yesterday, the producer we pointed out has now delivered 2 films. One of them being Gerald's Game, which I hate, and the other one being Hush.
Yeah.
And Oculus.
Oculus.
And a bunch of other films. That guy has worked directly with Netflix, and I had a conversation with him, and he's the one that was like, no, this is the camera package they made us use. And they made them basically use the Arri Alexa. That's what he told me. I just wanted to know. So my point is, he was hired essentially by Netflix to deliver a product for Netflix. Outside of Netflix, it doesn't matter. If they're going to come take your content based on what? The story and how well it markets to their audience. That's the only thing that matters.
Well, you actually helped shoot. You shot on the Red, but I shot on that $6 million movie we had here with Alexa.
You can say it, it's out.
Yeah, well, USS Indianapolis. It was a $6 million film shot on Alexa XTs with Cook S4s, and I want to say the Panavision Masters, the old 35 Primos. And we shot the whole entire thing in 1080, and it was delivered in 1080. And it is on Netflix as well. So, I mean, that's a massive film with cameras that could have shot the 4K with lenses that would have easily done it, and still wasn't shot that way.
Yeah. So here's the pro tip for Netflix. If you want to get on Netflix, make the best damn story you possibly can. I don't give two flying what you shot it on. They won't care what you shot it on. Then, after you get that great movie on, and they love it, and it trended really well, because Netflix, by the way, does not pay you per view. They pay you a flat license. I've explained this before, but they pay you a flat license. They will then turn around and hire you and mandate to the producer that gets hired to manage your movie, they will mandate to them what the specs are. In the meantime, just go tell a damn good story. Damn good story. That said, I did want to share with you guys, do you know about Amazon? Do you know, maybe you know this. This is cool. Amazon now lets you upload and sell your own shorts, and then you can put them directly onto Prime. So you can monetize films to go on Amazon Prime, which I think is brilliant. I think it's fantastic. So you can put a film on Amazon Prime. You have a choice. You can either charge people to rent it, and you can set your price, or you can set whatever you think it's worth, or whatever Amazon feels it's worth. And then you can also monetize it with commercials, and then they pay you that way. The thing about Amazon Prime, the reason I think it's pretty awesome, and I like Netflix too, but Amazon Prime is awesome, is you get paid every time someone watches the film for a certain amount of time. So if it's a short film and they make it all the way through, you actually get a bigger royalty than if it's like halfway through. So it's very similar to YouTube. So for like young filmmakers, I'm pointing at Laura right over here.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a DP one day,
50-year-old.
right? Don't you want to be a DP?
I would direct and DP.
All right, she wants to direct. She wants to be me one day.
Yeah, she does.
Laura over here who wants to be me.
Yes, that's my life goal, Drew.
Yeah, it's her life goal. You heard her.
You heard the sarcasm.
You can't
too.
see the eyes roll when you're not on camera. That's why I win. High five, Sasquatch. You got it. Boop. If you check out Amazon Prime, any of your short films, you can actually post them up. There are delivery requirements from them. They do want 4K if you can give it to them, but they don't specify what 4K. They just want 4K. And by 4K, I mean UHD, 3840 by 2160. They take short films. So go out, shoot some really cool short films on your GH5 because they don't care. They really don't care. They just want content up there, and they will allow short filmmakers to monetize. If you have questions about the process, ask me about it. Shoot me an email, drew@craftshow.com. If you have questions about a bunch of technical crap, ask Jeff at craftshow.com. Somebody found Jeff's my
high
school email.
One of my old emails.
Wow, that's hardcore. All right. Yeah, sound anthems. There you go. You can put them up. It doesn't matter what it is. It can't be porno. It can't be violent. It can't be. You got to use licensed music. So be clever on that stuff. Use something like Artlist. We'll post the link up. Use our Artlist, and you get a month free, or we get 2 months free, and you get 2 months free. I don't know what it is. We get free months if you use our Artlist. I'll post it down there. But that's completely license-free music for cinema, for broadcast, for wherever you want to go with it. The only thing you can't use Artlist music for is commercial radio. You can't use it for radio commercials. As weird as that is, but it's $200 a year, and you get unlimited songs. It's badass. Frankly, it's awesome. We've used it multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah. I'm curious. Can you write it out phonetically? M-A-E with an umlaut L? I think it's an umlaut. I don't know what the. Could you tell me how to say it so I don't screw it up? But yeah, I'm high-fiving back. I'm high-fiving with you. I've been shooting 4K for HD. Got to rethink that, I guess. No, that's fine. You don't have to. You can still deliver in HD. They'll take HD. They want 4K, but they'll take HD. Amazon will. Everybody will.
There's some people
check your email about Armored Car. Yeah, Sean, I got it. I just got really busy. I had a big client meeting this morning. We pitched them on a project, and I specifically said the GH5, and like, oh, that camera's got a lot of buzz. Go figure. Whatevs. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Good peeps. All right. HDR, HLG. We've talked about that. The Armored Car.
Yeah, the Armored Car thing.
Let's talk about Sean. Without your idea, let's say, because your idea is super awesome and I want to do it. I've just got to figure out if I have permission to do it because I think you're a little bit of ways from me. Not far, but I think you're. We'll talk later. Sean Corbett, that is.
Yeah. Signal.
I like reframing.
Drew does too.
I really want to get my hands on an EVA 1 so we can play with that. I think if we could afford to rent a red weapon. My L. Copy. Thank you. Mael, thank you. High five back to you, sir. Or ma'am. Whatever. I don't know. I can't tell by gender. I'm just being open. High five to you, person. That sounds freaking terrible. How do you feel as a woman if I say high five to you, man, and you're a girl?
I don't really care.
Right.
But what if he calls you person?
What if I called you person? Hello, person. Hello, person.
Hello, fellow person.
How's that make you feel?
Incredibly awkward. Thank you for asking.
There it is, folks. Millennial. She's part of our millennial task force. Her job is to tell us what's cool. Real quick, are we cool?
I would say.
Honest answer, are we cool?
You two are not cool.
You're like halfway cool. You're kind of cool, I guess.
Here, Sasquatch is flipping you off.
Oh, thank you, Sasquatch.
GFY.
No.
Yeah, I got a button that does that.
Why does he say no?
No!
Because you're talking. So stop.
No!
All right, back over
Look,
here.
you can do this off screen.
I'm getting destroyed over here. I'm getting trolled.
You are.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Walk of Fame for Community GH5 rigs. Yes, I'm all about it. She wanted to be Drew. Have you ever heard the... I don't even know what that's going with. I'd have to read it.
Scott
Jeff,
says I shouldn't grow a beard. But it's kind of a lifelong goal to grow a beard, Scott.
Maybe she is a beard. Isn't that a slang term?
Yes. I am cool with the young people.
I don't know. This show has gone completely off rails. This has gone more off rails than when we got snow plowed on the air.
Yeah.
We got really hammered for Jeff's birthday.
We did.
It fell apart very badly.
It fell apart really badly. Not as bad as this, though.
Yeah, this is way off the rails. All right.
Armored Car.
So let's focus on that. What do you guys want? We listened to the episode again just so I could get in the notes in my head. I really like the idea. Somebody threw the idea out that each of the characters should be named after the camera. So we had like Red, 5, and Eva, which I think is freaking awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I would really love to shoot. I don't know how to approach this. What's more valuable for us as filmmakers? Because the story I think will work if it's like if we cut into the scene after maybe these two characters have shot each other, and then there's a third person in the vehicle that wants to run away, but as soon as if they did run away, they would get shot, right? So we need to show that to establish that, right? So like if somebody, like we have an armored car, and if someone's trying to break out or escape from inside the armored car, let's say the doors are open, so you have like this weird almost sitcom vibe, and the person in the armored car could run away, so they take off running, and then both guys shoot, or bad guys, whatever, the people on the outside shoot a shot. That forces that person to get trapped back into the car, but the other two people on the outside of the car were once partners, and it's good crime gone bad, and they've turned on each other, but neither one wants to leave the vehicle because, right? And I think you put it in a really open space where they could both run away, but then they would be giving up the money. So it's this really beautiful story about someone being trapped. I don't know. That was my thought.
So the guy in the middle, the doors would be opened?
Yeah, I think the door should be open.
Yeah.
Why not show the production
So he's
value?
not
You got
locked
the
in it.
interior of an armored car.
Well, I'm just thinking if he's locked in there, you still have a camera inside with him.
Okay, you could start with locked in at first.
Yeah.
Picks the lock or does something to get out.
Yeah.
Starts to run
Maybe
away.
that's when
They
he-
both pull their guns
Yeah,
from
the
sitting behind the
shots.
tires
Yeah.
because those tires are armored, so you couldn't shoot the tire out and hurt the other person. They pull out their guns and shoot at him, and you have two Zerk hits or dust
Yeah.
hits or whatever,
No,
and then
let's
they
go
roll back.
Zerks,
Yeah.
If we
Why
have
is
the-
Why is Laura not presenting already? I don't know what that means.
What?
I don't know.
I'm confused.
You want her present? You want her on screen?
Do I get a present if I come on screen?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that could have been.
We just turned that into a bad conversation to good.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Let's just pretend that was never. Hopefully not.
I have several people shooting.
Hopefully not
Yeah.
picked up.
Yeah, I'm just continuing on with the conversation here. I'm trying
do
to
it.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, MPEG's got a decent.
Do you guys like that idea? I understand. But the catch is, I may not be able to like do a bunch of stunts, Sean, with the armored car. Is the only catch. Like I don't know. I've got to ask him. So
Yeah,
that's why I was saying, take
yeah.
your idea sidebar because that idea is epic. But it's putting it in motion. The car is essentially going to be a set piece, is what we're going to deal with, and at least it'll bring
Most
production
likely
value.
that's what
I don't
it's gonna
think
be.
I can drive it on the road, so that's why I was
Yeah.
saying your idea works into that. So I'd have to park it somewhere. Like I could drive it from the location where it currently is to another location,
Yeah,
like
I
an
think we
abandoned
can do
warehouse
that.
or something. I think I can get away with that without getting in trouble. I can get a police escort for that kind of stuff.
If
but I
not,
don't know the
also
other
think
way.
that we can get it towed in our general area
Yeah, we can figure
for
that out
free
that way.
without having to deal with anything.
Yeah, does that make sense, Sean? Because
Yeah.
that's why I was saying your idea, Sean, is like super awesome, and I
We
want
have
to set
to
that
figure
aside.
out really
I
basically.
just
We
gotta
have to
figure out
talk,
if I can do it.
yeah, we have to talk to that producer and figure out the guidelines of what we can do with the car and what we can't do.
Oh, you don't need. I'll do Zerks, man. I'll shoot real Zerks at the armored car.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can do Zerks. It's not going to hurt it. I can't
No.
imagine it hurts it.
Not
If you guys
an
know what
armored
Zerks are, they're paintballs with zinc something in them,
Yeah.
and that's what causes the sparks.
Makes the sparks, yeah. They're
We use
using
them
a
a
lot
lot.
of movies.
Yeah, we use them a lot. I'm with MPEG. Use different lenses. Anamorphic versus regular. That's cool. The only catch is
That
the
would
EVA
be
1
cool.
doesn't do anamorphic, right?
It does, but it's not PL mount, so you'll have to.
No. Does the EVA 1 even do anamorphic?
And you could do it in a regular and then force it if you needed to.
No, but I mean, does it do true
I don't know if
anamorphic?
it does true.
Does anybody know if
anamorphic
the
or
EVA
not.
1 does true anamorphic? That's a great question to
Yeah.
ask. Yeah, anyway. That's just an idea. It sounds kind of interesting and weird, but each side, so each character would be shot with a different camera and then we'd
Yeah.
mix them up.
And
So,
MPEG's suggestion was have several people shoot the same scene.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
That'd be a
which
dream,
we've talked about actually on
but I don't
other
know how to
things.
do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, I mean,
We could.
there is somebody, without saying anything,
Uh-huh.
that I would love to get to shoot a scene, but it would
Yeah.
be the ultimate of
For
ultimate.
the last time,
Who were
no.
they?
Baby Seal Troll Force to the extreme,
Yeah.
and it would be too easy to be cruel, and I just don't want to do that. It would just be super simple to be cruel, and I'm just not into
Yeah.
doing cruel on that side of it. At
Oh,
Crash
look
Show-
at that, Sean Robinson
Give me a minute to find out about
back
the
in
anamorphic.
here.
Look at that, we got Sean Robinson up in here. That's
Yep.
how we do it now, Sean Robinson. Yeah, Sean. So real quick, Sean, I don't know if you heard our idea. What we want to do is shoot
An
a
armored
car
car.
gag with Sean Penner wants it VR. Of course, I know why, Sean.
I know.
Sean Robinson, the goal was to do one side with GH5, one with the EVA, and one with the Red, and tell the same story with 3 different camera perspectives. And then at the end, I think we could Oh, the other thing, actually, let me backtrack. So at the end of it, we wanted to put it all together and put out the film. There would be a technical version that you could see that way.
Yeah.
But what I think is really fascinating that I have not yet found, I want to stream the entire process. So I think we start from the writing process where it's a live stream writer's room scenario. That's week 1, week 2, week 3, whatever. We go through the process. You see wardrobe. Let the community... Like, seriously, put it all out there. Let the community direct the film, put it together. Then while we're shooting, let the community influence the ideas of what we're doing. Like, so I'm going to go partner. I'm going to try and partner with a company called Southern Light, which is a big fiber company here. Huge company. If I can partner with them to give us the streaming capacity, that we literally live stream the whole shoot. We're logged up. We have somebody moderating comments to help to fire it off, and we talk back and forth. We literally interact the entire time, passing a camera around. If ideally we get a GH5 additional one mounted with like a wireless transmitter that can then route into like a live stream box, and we do the entire film. First time ever, we do an entire film, short film. We do the entire process live streamed with community involvement from the very beginning, from the pre-pro, and then the production is 100% live stream. It's a 12 freaking hour plus live stream.
Yeah.
That's
I think
insane.
we also live stream parts of the edit in the color session.
No, I think you live stream post.
We
It'll
do
just
the
be
whole
boring.
thing. Yeah,
but
it's gonna be
live
boring as
stream
hell.
post.
But that's why I was saying partial, because it's gonna be boring.
But you do it and let people
Let people
interact.
can see
I
the whole
think if
thing.
we go that route, we're changing the way films are made,
Yeah.
and we make it a community-driven project. That in the end, there's somebody shepherding the project. But if it's me or if it's Jeff or if it's hell Laura or Dawson, we give Dawson a shot. Let's not give Dawson a shot. You guys all know what's going to happen. He'll complain about it. About his arms hurt, and then he'll fall apart, and then he'll call in sick. Dawson doesn't even have the internet because he's too cool for it. I'll tell you that.
That's true. That's
Dawson doesn't.
true.
Dawson doesn't listen to records. Dawson listens to Ediphones.
I was hoping you were going to say 8 tracks.
Ediphones pre.
I know it's free.
Yeah. What city would this happen in? Probably either New Orleans or Mobile. Probably Mobile because I have a lot more resources here I can use for free. Because the crew, we would ask the crew for favors. We would literally ask everyone to, local crew-wise, I have gear here. I can get a truck here. The armored truck is here. So it'd probably be here in Mobile. I haven't played with my dolls lately. You're correct, MPEG. Wouldn't that be cool, though? If you guys think it's right. So that's what we're after, Sean. That's the big pitch. Yeah. So that's a GH5 thing, too. So we just plug it all the way. And the great thing would be at the end, I think the hype on that would be fantastic and be really cool. I think the really big push in the end of this is, I mean, the set's open as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if there's 1,000 people there. There will be one director, but I think we have 1,000 producers, whatever, that's normal. But I think we get everybody together and actually try this. And if we are able to pull it off, I think we then try a next one, and then the next one, and the next one. And I don't even care if somebody wants to write the script. Write the script. It's not about pushing Craft Show's agenda. It's about pushing let's find a new way to tell a story. Like, let's do something. Let's take the ability for us to be able to communicate off of multiple platforms in real time or near real time. Let's communicate on that level. I think we could even stream the dailies through if we were doing it correctly. We can literally stream, not the dailies, the live feed of the footage through if we're doing it correctly. Because what do we care? There's no branded content. I don't care.
Yeah, we could.
I think it would be amazing.
We just
and it
have
would
to
be
bring one
a
of our
world's
computers
first.
with us.
I'm pretty sure it would be a world's first. Maybe we could set a world's record for like longest a-hole on screen. Me.
Yeah, that would be a world record, and it would work.
That's the PG version of the other one.
So, Sean Robinson has confirmed there is no 4.3 record mode.
See? So the GH5 has the ability to do something the EVA can't. The EVA has an ability that the GH5 can't with the dual ISO stuff.
And Sean is on board. He loves this
Let's
idea.
do it, Sean. I'm
I know.
serious. And let's get a bunch of Atomos gear so we can record it all and stream from them. That's the only hard part is getting the HDMI. What we need to figure out is the challenge would be a bunch of tech issues. But if we got HDMI out into the Atomos, then we can crank it into a bunch of
HDMI,
receivers,
SDI,
so we can wirelessly transmit all this stuff, and also do down conversions to pump back in. I have a full version of Wirecast, which means I can have somebody with a big machine literally drawing in all these live feeds.
Yeah.
So we could have a live camera feed, we could have a comments feed up, we could have the actual camera that we're using feed. And, we could break it down. I don't know. It's different. I'm willing to put my neck and my brain and my resources. I'll put up all of the crew, cast, and gear to pull it off, I need an evil one. I have a red. We can use the red. I'd like to do a red weapon. If anybody has a connection to a red weapon, that'd be fun.
I do.
Never mind, Jeff does.
Yeah.
And then we just try it. I would even say 3 different DPs, but then I think you would have a bunch of egos of looks, and it would mix it up. That
Yeah,
would be
you
my
would.
theory.
I think that's going to
Yeah.
be really hard.
And we got to start simple. This is
Yeah.
one location,
I think
three
we started,
sides of that.
figure it out, and then...
I think you got to do a nighttime scene. So like they're sitting at the car long enough and it's nighttime now. And so we can do some nighttime lighting because I think that would be important to show off the different ISOs, the noise platforms, all the great stuff to really do that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. I think it's awesome.
I agree. I think this is a really good idea. We just have to get it knocked completely down.
Yeah. We just got to get it going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Sean.
Yeah.
No one's asking you to speak about the EVA stuff. I just, if you have an inside track or
Yeah.
introduce me and let me pitch it. You know how rowdy I get. Let me have like
Yeah.
2 Topo Chicos. PG. These are the R-rated versions of Topo Chicos. And we'll
No,
get it
that
going.
would be...
But we have this, it's an
Saffron
online
Saison.
film crew. Tell me
Yeah, it
how
is.
hyped would you be? And then the other side of it is if the community, if the craft show community, and I'm talking about all of y'all, if we all started hyping on our Facebook feeds and started getting it to pump through and people started tuning
Yeah, it
in,
could have a ton
it's
of
not
people.
about making a bunch of money. It's about then taking that and doing the next one. And we go to where somebody else is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to shoot them all here. Let's go
Nah,
somewhere else and shoot
I'm tired
another
of
one.
shooting in this place.
Let's send the gear over and figure it out and let's start that because I think you would end up with, like, everyone says they're community-driven content. We would actually be community-driven content.
It would be.
Which is insane. And then we could sell it on Amazon. That's called a callback, if you're not familiar.
That was actually a
and go that
decent
route.
callback. Not a long time callback.
Yeah. Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe.
The
essentially,
good, the
is-
bad,
is-
and the
is
armored
that.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would work really
Yeah.
well.
I think it'd be really cool.
I do too.
So let's plan on it. Let's start that process.
Yeah.
Let's.
So we have basically a little over a month.
That's the only catch
roughly?
is the producer that has
So
that
we need
car
to get this
told me I have
started
a
very
month.
quickly.
If we want to use the armored car, it's just
Yeah.
good. It's just good production value.
It is.
Is the point? We could essentially do it in another situation. I just think having an armored car is pretty rad to have on screen. Like, there's not
It is.
often you get that opportunity. So we have about a month.
Well, we
I
have to
might
use
be
it
able to
no
get
matter
it into early November, but
So I was thinking, I think
Yeah.
we can push it to like a month and a couple of
I think if
days.
we just get it shot, then
Yeah.
we can take a moment, regather
Yeah.
ourselves, and then approach the
That's-
post as a team.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We have to get
That's
it
our-
shot
that's
in
our
that
thought.
amount of time.
But this is a community thing.
Yeah.
And that whiteboard will suddenly become a big deal because I got to erase
production
that
board.
number off of there, but it'll become a big production board where we're going to have people's stuff like, handles and all that crap.
Yep.
Yeah. Now that's the great part. Like, seriously, I'll figure out a contract somehow. I don't know how to do this, but I'd figure out a contract of how to do profit distribution. Again, you're talking about royalties of like a penny.
Yeah. It's
It
not
won't
going to
be
be
much, but it could
a
be
lot.
something interesting. All right. No, we only have one
armored car.
We have one armored car. Are you going to use Evernote or Equal to share production info? Yeah, I like Evernote a lot. We could use Google Drive too. Does nobody like Google Drive? That would be a thought. We could use Google Drive and update it.
Ooh.
Oh, Sully. Actually,
yes.
Sully, I need you to send me an
Yeah.
email.
We do need that.
Drew@craftshow.com. I need that.
Yes.
I got a favor. I'm actually asking on behalf of Jeremy Sandy, but I
Yeah.
have a huge favor from him. Could you shoot me an email, please? Drew@craftshow.com.
Please.
Please, like ASAP. I will
Yeah.
get off this line and answer it. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. If you guys haven't friended Jeremy or follow him, he's vying for a young. What's the bad guys? What does Alan Rickman say in that? What's he call him? Roy Rogers. When he's right before he falls off the building.
Yeah.
I'm your Huckleberry. No. Anyway, Jeremy's up for
A very large.
a very awesome role,
Yeah.
and he needs some New York B-roll to help sell this package. So,
Yeah.
Sully, you'd be doing me and him a favor. I don't think we'll ever get repaid because, I'm just kidding. Jeremy's like one of the most stand-up dudes ever. He'd probably
Yeah.
repay us in
If,
Oscar tickets.
If
But
this
yeah,
works,
if you could hit me
it'll-
up. Thanks, buddy. Google Drive, yeah.
Yes.
So we could add to it it does mock up. All right, so we'll
Yeah.
start the Google Drive. So how do I get everybody's who wants to be connected? I guess I'm gonna blow up my email box. I don't really care. How about in the subject line put armored or armored car or something in the subject line, and then just shoot me an email, drew@craftshow.com, CRFTSHO.com. Shoot that over to me.
Yeah.
I'll start building the Google document. We'll start the script. Sean, I'll go ahead and add you in. But we'll start the document. Let's start getting feedback on the script. I'll get confirmation on the car and what I can do with it. I know the producer's in LA today. I'll start that entire process and see what we can do. I can even get some really cool free music from it. That we can, like pretty big artists. One of them's in The Foreigner, which is a movie coming out with Jackie Chan. Some really cool music stuff, and I can get a composer potentially. We can get all kinds of cool stuff, but we've got to make sure that we're doing it for like a really crazy experimental reason, and which we are. And then when we make money, that's a separate issue. That's producer talk for let's make money.
Yeah.
But under the auspices of something else. Baby Seal Troll Force armored car, that would be amazing. We got to figure out how to put a Baby Seal Troll Force in there. Yeah. I think we probably should jump off because it's 3:35.
Yeah.
We've now been broadcasting
It's been
for an hour and a half. Longest broadcast we've done yet, I think.
No.
No?
The drunken one was almost 2.
The drunken one was almost 2.
Yeah. That was a long one.
That was a long broadcast. All right, did you guys get the thing? If you want to be part of the initial part of the process, we'll grow it every week, obviously, or whatever.
Drew at Craft Show.
Drew at craftshow.com, and then I'll build a Google Drive, and we can start doing Hangouts and talk and do whatever we got to do. We're also going to launch a Patreon eventually because we want to raise funds to rent more gear and lenses. I really want to do a Ronin test and a Movi M10 test, or whatever it is, the Movi Pro test. I really want to put those side by side. Yeah, the Ronin 2 and Movi Pro.
Yeah.
We shot some insane stuff the other day with the dual stabilizer, by the way. It was nuts on that film set. It was nuts. It was really cool because it was well lit because we had the DP of this epic 38-year ASC member lit the set for us, so we're just shooting BTS. It was epic. I can't wait to show it off, but I can't yet. Yeah. So it's pretty rad.
You already got a couple people emailing.
Sean, of course, we'd love your help, buddy. I know what you can do.
Yes.
Yeah, we should bring Laura more often. Laura, can you come say goodbye because we're mostly like dudes and you're attractive. So come do your duty.
Hi. Bye.
Good job. You're still kind of in the frame, just
okay,
awkwardly.
Well, they can have my hand in the frame. Here, I'll come sit while you knock it out and say bye forever.
All right, why don't you close it out? Why don't you close it out?
Thank you for watching Craft Show.
Did you just do jazz hands?
She did.
Spirit fingers.
Spirit fingers.
I told you I'm awkward on camera and you keep bringing me back.
All right, we're out. Thank you guys, gals,
Thank you.
everybody. Appreciate it. Of course, I'll keep the live stream going so that you guys can have comments with Jeff.
Drew at craftshow.com, Jeff at craftshow.com. Armored car is Drew at craftshow.com. Or you can send it to me. I don't care.
I'll whatever. We'll route it over.
Yeah.
I think we take a look at James Dean Anderson's epic
let's do that.
Baby Seal Troll Force one more time, and then I'll just put up the basic logo, and you guys can keep chatting.
Yep.